Boobity boop. Welcome to the Beast Unleashed, episode 10. I'm with Raven Bones. Welcome, Raven, to this fine Wednesday afternoon. How was your Wednesday?
It's been amazing so far. Got a lot done.
Yep. Raven is jumping for joy. You know, like at the end of those 80s movies where like they jump and the camera stops and the music plays? That's Raven right now because he's officially getting paid for his work on here.
Mm-hmm.
Raven, how does it feel?
Feels great.
Do you feel like a superstar?
As close to it as I'll ever be.
But no, we got some interesting topics. So the first big topic that we have, excuse me, I'm finishing up a sandwich. The first big topic that we have is Microsoft is reportedly looking to bring Gears of War to PS5. And I think, Raven, I don't know if you saw something about them trying to bring just like all their Xbox exclusives to every console and like everything now, but so what's the deal? Did you hear anything about this more than I did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I came across I don't have the article on hand, sorry, but I came across an article where essentially Microsoft said that they are in the talks of essentially ending the idea of having first party exclusives moving forward from now, and that they plan on there is already plans to make games that have only been available on the Microsoft Store or PC and Xbox to be able to go over to PlayStation 5.
You know, that's kind of interesting because I remember Microsoft at the beginning of this console war, pretty much, wasn't it? Like at the beginning of
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Series X or whatever. That's the new one, right? Is the Series X, right?
Yeah, the Series X is the new one.
Yeah. So I remember at the beginning of that, they said that they were going to try and go full blown on their exclusives, you know? I remember that. Remember when they were buying like
Oh yeah.
Bethesda and Activision and all those big companies and were like, we're going to go full blown crazy, you know? Well, originally with Bethesda, they promised. We did a whole episode on that where they basically, Bethesda was like the one company they were like, yeah, it's not going to be exclusives, don't worry. But now, I guess it just doesn't matter anymore, does it? Because they're just going to bring all their games regardless. Oh, and here's the thing though. In this could be like kind of crazy. What if hypothetically, hear me out. This is like ultimate like trying to self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage.
Like think about this. No, hold on. Think about it. Like what if they make Gears of War run like shit on the PS5, right? And then be like, it's the PS5's fault because it can't run our insanely good game. And then people start to think that the PS5's shit. No, that wouldn't work. There's no way.
That wouldn't work because the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 have almost identical specs.
Yeah, but what if like it's like a porting issue? Like what if they're like, "See, we can't port our games over to Sony. It doesn't work."
Funny enough, that actually breaks a few FCC laws.
Really?
To purposely make something run shittier on another console to promote your own is actually against the law. Now, having a naturally bad port, like let's say Horizon Zero Dawn was to PC when it came out, that isn't illegal. That's just negligence. But purposefully having something run pristine on your console while it runs crappy on a rivaling console is actually illegal.
So here's the funny thing about Horizon Zero Dawn. So this is the Beast Unleashed. So as you know, we're unfiltered. So who gives a fuck? But the thing about it was I actually never bought Horizon Zero Dawn on PC. I actually illegally pirated it off of one of those like Steam Cracked or Steam Unlocked things, you know.
Yeah.
And I remember I was hearing all these bad reviews about it, and I was like, I didn't even realize it, but because I got it off of a cracked version, the person who cracked it actually went through and fixed all the problems themselves. So I played on like a really good version of the game and I didn't even realize it. I was like, what the fuck? Like
Yeah.
I didn't find that out until afterwards, and then I was like, wait a minute, are you telling me that this random motherfucker who cracked your game fixed the problem, but you neglected to do it? Now, they did update it, so now Horizon Zero Dawn does run semi okay on PC. It doesn't run as good as it did on the PS4 Pro, or hell, the PS5 port, which is the PS5 port is amazing. Like Sony, I almost wonder, you know, and here's the thing. I'm not saying it wasn't negligence because it absolutely was, but I think the thing is I almost wonder if it wasn't negligence at the same time and kind of on purpose, because when they ported it over to the PS5, it was like super good. Like the port was really good. So I don't know how like they have a shitty port on one and then they port it on to the next console and it's fine, you know?
It wasn't the port wasn't done by the studio who made it.
Really? It wasn't done by Gorilla? That's why.
No, yeah, that's why they literally like shielded off to a third party, and I don't think it's on purpose by Sony either, because God of War, when it released on PC,
Was fine.
because I got it day one. Okay, that shit ran so smooth like butter. Like you could tell it's been out obviously for a couple years on a console.
I'd hope, right? It came out in what, 2021? And the game came out in 2018? Like it better run good on my fucking on my 2090, 2080 fucking.
Now, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. You say self-sabotage. Okay. I say they're trying to create a new moral high ground that they want to bring Sony down to.
Ooh. I like that.
Because if they start doing all their exclusives, they're going to be like, well, Sony, as you see, we got over our entitled ego of console warring pride. So that means you'll now have to bring all your amazing shit to our consoles, because now people won't have to buy your console to play them. Aren't you going to do it, please? And I feel like if Sony's like, no, that it's going to create like a brand new outrage manufactured by Microsoft, that Sony acts like entitled brats rather than the common sense of, you know, just buy a PlayStation 5 because we know you suck.
I like that. I actually do like that, and I almost wonder with how Microsoft. Okay, me and you, we know firsthand how cheesy Microsoft is, right?
Oh yeah.
God, my fucking voice. We know how bad Microsoft is. In fact, we actually know how bad Microsoft is to the point where we don't even buy Windows legally, you know? So like, yeah. So like, that's the thing is like, we don't even want to give them money. We don't even want to give them money, let alone for the operating system, let alone for a fucking video game. And so that's the thing that I think people need to understand is Microsoft is a shitty, sleazy company. Yeah, because here's the thing about Windows. Whether you like it or not, and no matter, even though the U.S. government said nope, that's a monopoly, you got to get rid of it. You know, you got to pay schools money. You know, now for like newer equipment because you have a monopoly, and then they tried to quote unquote split it up. They still have a monopoly over the PC market. I mean, every single thing has Windows on it, pretty much. The only things that don't have Windows on it are Apple products and the very few people that use fucking Linux,
and Chromebooks.
Dude, Chromebooks. Oh my god, you can game in a Chromebook. No, Windows is like the ultimate like thing when you think of like PC. So like that's that entitlement. Like they want to talk about like Sony being entitled. That's the entitlement. Like they know they're so good that it doesn't matter. You're gonna have our product, you know, either way. And that was kind of the thing with Xbox is it was always just like everybody was like, why shouldn't Xbox win a console war compared to Sony? And I don't think people realize that Microsoft is more than just a console. You know, like they have more than just an Xbox. And yeah, Sony has more than just a PlayStation. But the thing is, they don't have another thing as big as PlayStation when it comes to consumer market. The only thing they have that would rival that is Sony Pictures, because pictures make a lot of money. But other than that, like compared to quantity over quality, I mean, Sony Pictures only releases a certain amount of things each year. They have to have a steady stream through their first 4 quarters, you know? Like you can't just have one quarter be stacked and then the other 3 be bad, because that's horrible for investment. So like a lot more rides on the PlayStation for Sony than it does for Microsoft and the Xbox, because Windows is always getting new product and always getting new things. And then you top on Xbox on top of that. Like, you know? Also, the US government really tried to push Xbox because it's a, you know, local US owned. Local in quotes, you know.
In quotes.
Yeah. But compared to Nintendo and Sony, which are Japanese. They're foreign. It's a foreign product, you know. Even though Sony's basically damn near so catered to the United States, it wouldn't even matter. But you know, that's the thing that I think people forget is Sony isn't an American company, and so like whenever it comes to push comes to shove by the government, they're gonna shove Sony more than they're gonna shove Microsoft because Microsoft's an American company, and you want to promote American capitalism compared to foreign capitalism. That's actually why Sony created Sony America, was so they could actually get American investors. Even though the Japanese stock market works damn near the exact same way as the United States stock market, people were so scared to go onto it that they had to make one just for. Same with Nintendo. Nintendo has an American stock too. So, but that's the thing. Everybody's got to realize is Microsoft is sleazy. They're slimy, and they 100%. If you think they're doing something out of the goodness of their heart, they're not. Like this, they're not. They're not doing this because, oh, we think fans just absolutely deserve to play Halo and Gears of War and PS5. No, there's definitely a bigger reason to this. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's not because out of the goodness of your heart you want people to play Halo and Gears of War. No fucking way.
And you can keep Starfield, by the way.
Oh my god.
PlayStation users get Starfield. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. We're good. We'll already own a PC.
We'll hold on. Just calm down. We'll stay over here. Dude, no.
It's so funny. And you know, I came across a video of a guy essentially saying that he likes what Microsoft is doing and wants PlayStation to do the same because he thinks that every game should be available on every platform and that this idea of fighting over which game runs better on what plastic is stupid. And I'm over here like, no, I disagree. The whole thing I like about console wars is because the idea that you have a competitor,
it promotes competition.
It promotes competition. If everything's available on everything, then nobody's going to be like, well,
that's the problem. They're not competing to make a better product, right?
They're not. And the thing is I like competition. Now, while Sony is bringing some games to PC, they are coming to PC 2.5 years after their PlayStation releases.
Yep.
Which is fine. But I'm somebody who hasn't bought a console since PlayStation 2. Okay, so I'm not a console person. Okay, it's been PC all the way except for my PlayStation 2. This is the first time I ever bought a console. And when I was debating consoles, I was like, well,
there's no point in Xbox.
There's no point in Xbox because Xbox is nothing more than a dumbed down, syndromed freaking PC that I get all the games on anyways through an Xbox Pass. Not even just a Game Pass.
In fact, I want an in fact, Xbox Series X's UI is actually completely, and I think this was a video I watched like 2 or 3 years ago, because these consoles, by the way, Raven, you wouldn't believe it, they're gonna be 4 years old this year. I don't know how that fucking happens. Like, I don't know how time goes like that, but anyways, like 2 or 3 years ago when these were still like really fresh new consoles, you know, I remember people talking about the UI, and I'm sure they changed the UI now because it was the launch UI, but the launch UI was like a Windows based UI.
It was, somebody glitched it to the Windows start menu.
Yeah, like so it's a Windows UI. So the whole thing is just a Windows machine. It's just a computer.
It's just a PC. Yeah. So it's like, so why would I spend money for your console that'll only last me 4 years until I need a pro version when I could just spend, I don't know, money on a PC that will last me 12 years and all your exclusives with it without ever having to buy it again? Like, so I went with PlayStation because I'm like, I want to play the new God of War when it releases. I want to play the new Ratchet and Clank when it releases. I want to play some of these cool games that I just can't get on PC. And that brings the competition of PlayStation upping it. Because now guess what Microsoft did? Microsoft just showed ass. And now PlayStation's going to lube up and go right into it. Why? Because they just realized they won competition. So hopefully Sony doesn't lack. But I think this is like a desperate move on Xbox to try to make a new moral high ground because they bought Bethesda and thought it was going to be their saving grace, and then they ended
When
up.
that didn't work, then they bought Activision, and when
Yeah.
that didn't work, then they're like, well, what's next?
No, what's next? Well, what are we going to do? Bring World of Warcraft to Xbox? Like, what are you going to do? Like, it does. You're out of moves, and they know that they have discontinued. By the way, Halo Infinite.
Yep.
I forget it. Yeah, because it didn't work. They're all out of it. They butchered their franchises. Now I'm one of the idiots. Now I've never played the Halo games. Okay,
No, I only okay. Here's the thing. I've the only Halo game I've ever played was Halo Infinite, and it's because it was free for multiplayer. I played the multiplayer, and I actually have a friend who's really big into Halo, and even he was like, he goes, I do like some things about it, but there is like, this is definitely like one of the top 2 worst Halos. Like, I'm sure, I don't know, it needed time, but like, that's the thing is like, Halo, Gears of War, I mean, the Call of Duty games that think about it, they bought 2 giant corporations, right? Video game corporations, and they're dead corporations. They haven't released a good game in like 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously. Yeah.
So sad. And for me, as somebody who's never played them before, because I've never played them, so I can't comment on combat. I'm one of the few who actually likes all of them except for Infinite. Like, even like 1 through 5. Everybody hates 4 and 5, but I'm over here like, I didn't see anything wrong with it. And I'm over here thinking, hey, you know what? Halo 6 would be amazing for them to come out as a banger. And I'm like, yeah, but what's the point of making it a banger for Xbox if I'm just going to get it on PC?
Dude, I will say this. Halo 4 came out at such a good time because it came out when YouTube was starting to get like really, really big. And that helped Halo 4 profit.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to show you something. You know who the Warp Zone is?
No.
Okay. They used to make like gaming related like meme videos like in 2000 like like in like 2012, 2013. And this is the type of shit I used to watch. But yeah, it's basically, I don't know if you've ever heard the song Glad You Came, but it's basically the song Glad You Came, but
wait, I have seen this.
And it's like a Halo version with like Master Chief, like I'm low on rounds. Dude, I still remember. But no.
Dude, this is bringing back so much
I
nostalgia.
know, right? Like, dude, it brings back like such 2013 for me. But the thing is,
11 years ago.
I know, dude. I can't believe that.
I was 18 when this came out.
Oh my god.
You were 7.
Ugh.
8?
I think you were 17. You have to be, right?
No, I was 18.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm 29 now, and I'm going to be 30.
Oh, shit, dude. Jesus.
Yeah. Damn. And you were like, what, 9?
I was 7. 8.
7.
8. I was 8.
Damn.
Because you're basically 10 years. I'm like 10. You're 10 years and like 8 months older than me or something. You're just not quite 11 years.
But yeah, so you know what? Guess what? RIP Microsoft. I'm finally glad you understand your place, and I hope that Sony doesn't let this go to their head.
No, exactly.
And I hope they don't buy into it either.
Like you said, though, I think that was the greatest analogy. They just showed ass, and Sony is just lube it up. Like I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. Because here's the thing, Sony, other than the PS3, and Sony learns really well from their mistakes. Because here's the thing. And this is what everybody says is, oh, the PS3 was such a dud when it came out. You know what, though? Sometimes, and this is the thing that they always tell you about, and I know the Beast Unleashed is meant to be kind of like the shit post, but seriously, sometimes in this show, we can have good things. And this is a life lesson. Sometimes you have to fail, and you have to get humbled to become better. And Sony was a giant. The PS1 and the PS2 were so good. And sometimes you need that fall from grace. You know? Like, sorry, I'm just puking right now. I'm just fucking throwing up. What's like the trope about all old, like old English stories? It's a fall from grace, but they build themselves back up. And that's what happened with Sony. They failed, and I think that failure was such a turning point. It humbled them. It showed them how to be a better company. It really did. It showed them how to be a better company, and now I don't think they're going to make the same mistakes they did with the PS3 where they're like, "Oh, we're high and mighty and nobody's going to be near us." I think now this just shows that they just got to jump, they got a head start is what they did. Because now they know that Xbox probably won't drop another console after this, which means that Sony is now only competing with Nintendo, and Nintendo has always said since 1996, since like the GameCube, since the GameCube, so like 2001, they don't want to compete with Sony and Microsoft anymore. So if Nintendo doesn't want to compete, now Sony now has their own market. There's nothing competing against Sony, which means now the sky's the limit, right?
Exactly. Sky's the limit. Because here's the funny part. I actually do see this to the discontinuance of Xbox for one simple reason. Oh, hey, I want to own a console. Let's look at things logically. PlayStation has exclusives that I can't have on Xbox, but everything coming to Xbox and PC will be on my PlayStation. So really, there's only a one-all, be-all console now, and that is PlayStation 5. And then the only other thing you need, obviously, is your PC, because Master Race.
Here's the thing.
And then if you want to switch.
Here's the thing. Xbox, and I said this, I think I said this in the Bethesda too. Xbox is not a console, it's a product. That's what it is in 2024. Xbox is a brand and a product released by Microsoft. Xbox is not a console. Xbox is a product. Xbox will give you games, and it will give you an experience. It's not a console, though. I don't think Xbox is a console. For example, Nintendo has a console, but the Switch is not a console. It's a product. Because the Switch, to really call it a console, I feel like it has to be a competitor of that higher powered console, right? That's what I consider a console. Okay? And Sony does that. Xbox isn't known for that. Xbox is trying to do too much with Xbox, you know? And Nintendo has their own thing where it's a gimmicky device, you know? Handheld, on the go. I think Microsoft's going to turn into like that. In fact, I almost bet Xbox is going to become the next Sega. Sega does have a good fucking intro, though. Theme song.
Dude, I have 4 of them. I want to hook one up again.
Sega Dreamcast?
No, Sega Genesis.
Ooh, going old school.
Old school. I have to have 4 different ones.
Yeah, the Dreamcast was pretty good, but then fucking PS2 dropped and it was done. There was no way. But without competition, it's going to be hard, so I'm curious to see how Sony's going to take this. So, who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? All right, moving on. Let me pull up our final thing to talk about today. That's what the mask is. Sorry, I'm being a douchebag. Okay. God, this sandwich, dude, is so good.
What you eating?
It's a sandwich I made. I'm just trying. I had to get rid of this bread, so I just made a bunch of sandwiches. It's about to go bad. So it's a like a triple decker sandwich, not like the Scooby Doo one, but like it's like 4 pieces of ham, 3 pieces of salami, a bunch of pepperonis, and cheese. Oh yeah, The Mandalorian and Grogu got a release year, 2026, for the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Okay. Here it is. So first off, oh, by the way, some dude apparently managed, you know that big sphere in Las Vegas? Did you hear about that? Some dude climbed it all the way?
Oh no, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So he climbed that sphere, that big sphere that can make pictures and stuff. He climbed that in Las Vegas, and they they got him in custody by a helicopter.
What a legend.
That's fucking sick, dude. It's trespassing, and he's gonna probably go to jail for probably like a year, because it also damages it's technically a bunch of tiny LED screens, so you're also damaging them by climbing it. But yeah, how does one climb a sphere?
You're a legend.
But James Gunn finished writing Peacemaker Season 2, which I don't quite understand, but that's not something for tonight. Where is it? It's in my dude. It's in my fucking notes.
It's
All
in
right.
your dude.
Yeah. Oh, here it is. Okay. Gina Carano, I think is her name. The girl
Yeah.
from the Mandalorian is suing Disney and Lucasfilms for quote unquote discrimination and wrongful termination. She is seeking a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her. Elon Musk is also going to be paying for her legal bills because of his promise to support those who claim they have been discriminated against on Twitter. However, here let me just tell you about what she did. So, she apparently I got to find it, but first off,
I remember what she did.
Okay. So first off, Raven, you can go ahead with that. Just go ahead with that. Cuz I'm trying to
Okay.
look at these comments cuz they're just so fucking good. It's juicy.
So essentially, she compared the quote unquote violence and mass persecution, and I'm using this in quotes, by the way, the violence and mass persecution against people who are either supporting of Trump or Republican to those in Germany who would essentially be discriminative against Jews.
Yeah.
She compared essentially the turning in your neighbor and who might be a Jew over to the Nazis to people who want to rat out their own family members for being a Republican or somebody who loved Trump. And obviously it's stirred a cause because of the wrongful comparison between the two. And of course, I didn't believe that that was actually happening either. So people saw it as very wrong, and Disney thought it was very wrong to minimalize the Holocaust in World War II that way. And so she was let go.
And here's the thing. And it doesn't, and I want to just point out, because there's a lot of people out there, it doesn't matter how you think about the Holocaust, what you think of Judaism or Judaism. It doesn't matter what you think of that. The point is it's just so stupid to say that and then claim that you're being discriminated against for that. The thing is, and first off, I just want to point this out. This is called a capitalist society, and you work for a private company. Disney is a private company, and you are not tenured with the company. So they don't need any reason at all to fire you. If somebody doesn't like you, they can fire you. And let me just say this, in 49 of the 50 states, that is completely legal. And I promise you, she's not in fucking Hawaii, where it's illegal. Okay? So, I think it's Hawaii. It's either Hawaii or Alaska. I don't know. Either way. Okay? So, in basically every single state, it doesn't matter, including California, it doesn't matter if you are a woman, a man, anybody. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter anything. If, let's say hypothetically, the boss of the company, I'm the boss of the company, and you work for me, and you slept with my wife, and you're not tenured, your ass can get fired, and if you sue me, I can just say, you weren't tenured. I don't need to disclose the reasons why I fired you. I just don't want you as a private actor working for my private organization. And that's the point here too. That I think she's gonna. I think it's regardless of what her cause was. Okay, even if her cause was wrong, she has no basis in court. She has no basis in court at all, because no matter what you think on the situation, there is no discrimination against firing a private actor from a private organization, especially if it wasn't in her contract that she has to be disclosed. If it said somewhere in her contract that she signed with Disney, which, by the way, Disney's not stupid, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't dig themselves in their own hole in their own contract. Unless it said somewhere in her contract that we have to give you a reason why we're firing you, they don't need to disclose that information. They can fire her, and they don't have to worry about her ass ever again. And it does not matter what she thinks about anybody, and it doesn't matter what she thinks. It doesn't matter about what gender she is. It doesn't matter about who she is. She could be fucking the president of the United States, and she could get fired from it. Because it doesn't matter. Because I don't like you, I don't have to have you around me. And that's the kind of the point. That's the basis in court. And it's just not going to stick. I think Elon, and this is actually just kind of a bad, and I'll let you speak in a moment, Raven, but to me, this just looks kind of bad on Elon, because he's now using X to fund this. And even if he's claiming that he's not supporting whatever she's supporting, and he's just trying to, because he thinks she was wrongfully discriminated against, it just makes him look kind of stupid for even like funneling money into this. Like, it almost makes him look like, and I don't know if it's a massive troll, but it almost makes him just look like a clown in a way for even funneling money into something like this. That's just not going to stick. I don't know. You can have your way. You can go ahead, Raven.
All right. So because we can be as based as possible, I actually don't care about people being fired discriminately. It's your company. Do whatever the hell you want. If this was, I wouldn't care if it was some left-wing person who made the exact same comment about left-wing people and they got fired from a right-wing studio. Just like I don't care that it's somebody like Gina Carano who had a very stupid take getting fired because Disney doesn't obviously want to be aligned with somebody who has that type of a viewpoint. I don't care. I don't care if you fire somebody discriminately, whether there is or isn't discrimination. I actually don't care. I actually hope that discrimination is used sometimes in firing, because obviously nobody is going to go accept if I go audition to be Black Panther. I want you to say no on the basis that I am white. Just the same as if I went to go audition to play Freddie Mercury. I'm not gay. You can reject me for that reason too. I don't care. It's a capitalistic society. And as you said, if we don't want you in the company because you decided to go be a dumbass on Instagram and we decide we don't want to even give you any leniency to apologize, then fuck you, go away.
We don't have to.
Don't have to. But I'm saying, like, if they decide not to, because, there's been some actors who have came out, done some stupid shit, and, Disney's been like, hey, stop, apologize. We don't want to get rid of you. Or even any other company. Universal Studios, I think, did that to Vin Diesel one time. I forget. I think it was like in his Chronicles of Riddick days, where he made Vin Diesel. They made Vin Diesel apologize if he wanted more movies. Well, joke's on them. He went to play Fast and Furious, which is still by Universal Studios. But still, like, nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to give you a common courtesy. You thought you had a really cool take, and
you didn't.
You misfired. You went like over the fucking bow into the water, and you even missed the jellyfish down below. Like you missed. I'm sorry. I mean, you couldn't even hit a little tiny plankton.
If they put you up to shoot Osama bin Laden, God bless America, because you ain't even getting close.
Like, I hate Disney and I support their decision simply because I don't give a fuck what they do. Because we all know, even with even if you were in the show still for The Mandalorian, or even if you were part of whatever new project they want to do at Disney, Disney is still making shit. You wouldn't have made it better. So just take the W then, because now you're not part of Disney and their dumb shittery, and just walk away.
Exactly. Why do you gotta
Who cares?
And now you're just gonna make yourself look more like an ass to the people who were already kind of with you, like, yeah, that's fucked up. And now you're gonna get your ass kicked in court, and then it's just gonna make you look even worse. And I think that's the thing that people forget is this going to court like this on a basis that you're going to lose, and you pretty much know you're gonna lose. Even if you convince your lawyer to take it up, it's just gonna make you look bad in the public. And if you think this is gonna get you more roles by being a martyr and dying for your cause in court, it's not. It's just gonna make. Here's the thing: regardless of what you believe, it's just gonna make it. It's gonna make companies think, wow, she really is tough to work with. I don't want to work with somebody who's going through this much rigor and this much things, to fight the company that was paying her. And now you're going to be broke. You're going to have nobody that wants to pay you. You're going to be working at McDonald's.
Yeah. You could have just stuck to whatever values you had and left it be. And as for Elon and his fucking decision to fund this bitch's lawyers, I'm going to put out the base take ever. Okay. Elon Musk is only funding this, not just because of whatever fucking promise he made when he bought X that we knew was bullshit, but because he is obviously trying to stir up new news headlines that aren't revolved around his complete 180 and stuff that he did concerning politics happening right now in the Middle East. And he's trying to get that. This is a good distraction from it because nobody's talking about it anymore. And
Yeah.
to me, it's like, this is, once again, it's kind of like with Microsoft. Okay. It's just another distraction to try to cover up your flaws. And it's going to work. This dude probably doesn't even mean it anyways.
No, exactly. He doesn't give a fuck what the outcome of this court is. Like, literally, he doesn't care. And that's the thing too, is in for all the people, because I know I got some conservative people in my family. For all of you who are saying, well, you don't understand, it's not the point, it's the fact that she's fighting for the right. I just want to point out that Disney, and here's the thing. This was a great picture I saw in the comments, was somebody said, I would fire Hassan for saying the US deserved 9/11 if he worked for me. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at, is here's the thing. Disney would do the same thing for people on the left if somebody said that, like Hassan, because it's you'd be completely within your right to do so. It's not a fact of whether or not she's a right Republican or not. It's the fact of that you are just you're being difficult to work with. I don't want to work with you. You're gonna go out and stir shit up, and then you're just gonna associate that with our film. You know, like for example, if I was cast to be the next fucking Anakin Skywalker, right, in the fucking Star Wars reboot or something, you know, and like midway through shooting in like the show, in like episode 1 comes out and it's well received, and then midway through episodes 1 and 2 being released, I go, yeah, the United States deserved 9/11 because fuck that, and Disney decided to kick me out, they'd 100% do it because they don't want that drama associated with the project. Because now think about it, now what is she known for when she gets seen in The Mandalorian? People are gonna be like, oh, that's the girl who said that thing on Twitter. Like, if people know it. And then it's just going to be like, oh, why are you still casting her? And then you get a big group of people that don't support you, and it's just like, I don't want to even deal with it. I'm going to kill it before it even starts, you know? So.
Yeah. And you know what? Disney had 2 options. They could simply just not give a fuck and everybody moves on, or they fire her, and they fired her. And now she has to live with that.
Deal with it. Yeah. It's
the part that I don't get is the whole, she's fighting for the right. She has the right to say whatever the fuck she wants. But a studio could still fire her for it if they don't. The studio isn't the people who uphold the First Amendment. Okay, they're still a company who can do whatever they want. Just like, you know, if somebody came on Disney who was trans and said all straight people needed to be genocided in a new Holocaust, I would expect Disney to fire that person too if they wanted to. And if they didn't fire them, well, you know what? They're the company, they did what they want, and that action will speak volumes for itself amongst the people. But who cares? Move on.
Well, and that's the thing that I think, and this goes for both ways, and it's not like Disney, and this is what people got to understand, is and for the people who are on the right that are like, well, companies shouldn't be able to do that. Well, guess what? You know who's been fighting for that for years? The fucking left. So guess what? You guys now agree on something. You think companies shouldn't be able to fire people without probable cause. People on the left have been fighting for that for years. Oh, well, if people on the left are fighting for it, then no, you know. But
nobody should be forced to keep you employed.
I mean, and well, welcome to society, and that's kind of the thing. And it's with my kind of left leaning views, I still don't agree with that. I think a company is a company; they can do whatever the hell they want. And you know what? And very few times, I love this about like people on the right too, when shit like this happens. Is people on the right are like, "Oh, I just got off my 36-hour unpaid shift, putting my balls in a hydraulic press. You know, I'm no soft baby." But then it's shit like this, and they go, "This is bullshit. Workers need to," and it's like, welcome to the real world. Companies are greedy and they can do whatever the fuck they want because it's capitalism. Okay? You don't want to know what your alternatives are to capitalism? You ready? Communism. Unitary governments. You want those? Go ahead. You can have a unitary government. One king, one ruler. See how that works out. Promise you, you ain't gonna like it. You didn't like it in 1776, you ain't gonna like it now. So,
facts.
Yep. So I think that is a perfect way to end off our Beast Unleashed We got a little based in this episode, but I think it was deserved. Thank you guys for watching The Beast Unleashed number 10. As always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to find us on Spotify, Apple, all that crap. So, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to review us on all those things too, and let us know if you want something new or something for us to talk about. We'd be more than happy to talk about some stuff. So, thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Raven, any last words?
If you're gonna say shit, own up to it and be a man.
Exactly. And with that, we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.